Hello, welcome to another video on how to manage your store. In this video, we are going to talk about user management. Users are those that have access to your store backend. Okay, and sometimes you may want to have additional users to help you run the store smoothly. But there is need for you to restrict access to certain areas of your store that you don't want them to have access to. Okay, so this is the work of user groups. So let's go to system, then users, click on user groups. User group enables you to restrict viewing and modifying access to certain areas in your store backend. Okay, so as you can see, here is the default user group. This is the top level user group in the store. So for you to create an additional user group, you click on the add new button here. Then under user group name, you give the user group you are creating a name. Let's say manager. Okay, then under access permission here you tick the areas of your store backend where you want users in this group to have a viewing access, and untick the areas in your store where you don't want them to have a viewing access. Okay, so you can click on the select all, then deselect the areas where you don't want them to have access to. For example, user permission, user API, maybe log, then backup, and some other areas where you don't want them to have access to. Okay, then under modify permission, here you tick the areas where you want them to have modifying access, and uncheck the areas where you don't want them to have a modifying access. Okay, you can click on select all, then deselect the areas where you don't want them to have a modifying access. Okay, then this is a bit technical. Then after, you must have given them, this group, all the necessary access, and deny them unnecessary access. Then you click on the save button. As you can see, we now have this new user group. The next thing to do is to assign users to this user group. So let's go to system, then users, click on users. Here you have a list of all the users in your store, and then for you to create a new user, you click on the add new button here. Here you give the new user a username, then select the user group where you want them to be assigned to. Then password, and after, you select enable so that the user can log in and access your store backend. Then after, you click on the save button here. As you can see, we now have a new user here who can access the store backend. Okay, so let's log out of the store and then log in with the new user credentials. Okay, enter the username and the password, then click on the login button. Okay, here you can see that the user now has access to the backend. So if you go to system, then as you can see, there is no user menu here because we have restricted the access to users via user group permission. Okay, so this is an example of how to restrict access to certain areas in your store backend using a user group. Okay, so this is how to create users and assign them to different user groups and define the access they have to your store backend using the user group system. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.